Welcome to the International Preschool Curriculum Orientation video. In this segment, you will need an infant and toddler thematic unit, a Level 1 to Level 3 thematic unit, the corresponding L1 to L3 assessment booklet, and the L1 to L3 assessment indicators. If you do not have hard copies, please download these documents from your IPC School Manager account. Before implementing the IPC in your classroom, you should familiarize yourself with the teacher training course available on the College of Teaching website. Facilitators should also ensure that they have read the IPC Code of Ethical and Professional Conduct and be aware of what is expected of them during or prior to initiation at any IPC-approved school. The IPC recognizes 6 content learning areas, which are language arts, social and emotional skills, numeracy and math, creative and visual arts, the sciences and technology, and fine and gross motor skills. In each of the L1 to L3 thematic units, you will find a combination of objectives and activities based on these 6 content learning areas. As activities are sorted in order of content learning area, facilitators are required to establish lesson plans prior to the implementation of the teaching day and determine whether the required materials, books, and learning aids are available. We will look at this in more detail later on in this segment. By opening your L1 to L3 unit, you will see a section called How to Follow and Teach the IPC Curriculum. Here you will see that objectives, activities, examples, and assessment instructions are color-coded for easy reference. In order to successfully deliver an activity, you will be required to carefully review information and instructions in each of these sections. The IPC combines objective, play, and inquiry-based learning styles. For each activity, whether play or inquiry-based, there is a set of developmentally appropriate learning objectives. Collectively, these objectives are represented in the assessment indicators and form the basis of assessment guidelines. Turning now to assessment indicators. The IPC has a tiered developmentally appropriate assessment system. Note that developmentally appropriate activities and assessment have little to do with age. As reflected in widespread research, children develop at varying paces, and so it is acceptable for a 5-year-old to be assessed as an L2 student, or a 4-year-old to be assessed with L3 criteria. For this reason, many of the activities are the same for all levels. However, variations in assessment for each level are clearly defined. In order for a facilitator to determine which level is suitable for each child, facilitators should be familiar with the assessment indicators and observe students over a period of several days. This also means that some students may have a numeracy aptitude of Level 3 and a language arts aptitude of Level 1. In such cases, facilitators should aim to foster ongoing development in all content learning areas. Generally, it is acceptable for teachers to conduct periodic observations based on assessment indicators without there being monthly assessment for each thematic unit. Nevertheless, there are thematic-based assessment booklets for each student, which can be sent home for parent review. Going back to activity delivery, facilitators are encouraged to pick a selection of daily activities that do not necessarily follow the chronological order of the thematic unit. This would include at least one activity from each of the content learning areas over a teaching week. For tailored assistance, or to request a sample lesson plan, please contact your relationship manager. Let's take a moment to compare how the infant and toddler thematic units are different to the L1 to L3 units. First, you will see that there is less flexibility in lesson delivery for infants and toddlers. You will also notice that instead of activities being sorted by content learning area, they are sorted into daily sections. Due to low attention spans among infants, each thematic unit is designed for a maximum of 1 week. As assessment for infant and toddler units is limited, and because the development of infants varies significantly, objectives are replaced with a rationale section, which explains why and how the activity is justified by research. Now that we have reviewed the most important features of the curriculum, make sure that you complete Module 3, Curriculum and Lesson Planning, available on the College of Teaching website. If at any time you have any questions or require further guidance, please contact your IPC Relationship Manager.